This be important, lass, so listen close. Whatever you be owing a watcher, you don't owe your life. You ever be wanting to leave, you just pack right up and ship out.
Why would I want to leave? I like it here.
Just saying, lass. She don't own you. Nobody does.
You probably have some questions about what we've been doing. We found Harama in quite a state, didn't we? It's no wonder you'd be curious about what's going on. Harama is a sociable type of guy. Getting to know people is as easy to him as breathing is to you or me. Atsura set him loose so he can get to know as many people as possible. That's one way you could put it. He's keeping an eye on Tikawara. Who comes and goes, what sorts of things they discuss. Atsura is committed to a more peaceful Deadfire. But he's just one man. He needs good people to shoulder the burden with him. Maybe. Probably. Let's just say we're not the first people to deliver Harama a missive that looked like one thing and read like another. Only Atsura knows for sure. Harama might not even have all the facts. I certainly don't. Truthfully, I don't know. They looked like ordinary documents to me, but I'm sure that's how Atsura wanted it. Atsura has a new code for every hour of the day. He probably has cipher keys tattooed all over his body. Don't be dense. They're smart enough to assume that Rauatai has spies. And if they're really smart, they're spying on us too. Though I doubt it. For what it's worth, you're doing a great thing for the Deadfire. You'll see that someday.
And some that spawn for Itakbe to teach them ways to dance. Heave away, my lady.
thought Sarah asked me to train a crop of new sailors. Guess the sharpshooting lesson was wasted. Should have spent that time talking about home.
I'd be glad to.
I don't get this at all. There was a Dawnstar settlement on Isongo. The place got trampled just the same. This is Widewen all over again. Only now we know it really is Aethys behind it. I'll tell you one thing. When we catch up to that unstoppable god statue, me and him are gonna have words. Lava better be all right.
That's Gon's footprint.
Conflict in the air. No rush.
Glory Beta Gon! I'm no help here.
Got someone in my sight. Still got it.
Take this, at once.
Alpha Predator.
My friend. Mode Ixie Honor. Interesting. Happy. What can I do? Stand together!
Might as well be hitting the water.
Second try, I say.
What can I do? Certainly.
Hitting the water. Still got it. We got trouble, folks. We got trouble, folks.
What do you need?
Indeed.
Something I can do?
Happily.
Uh-huh.
I taste his. Stand together.
Can't be a clean hit.
That's true.
Worse than rough!
Very well. What can I do? Of course. Just a moment, please. It's no trouble. At once. Happily.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Just keep that bird away from my work.
Stand down, Ishi. The man is doing important work.
Slave sphincter, those snakes were noisy. I don't suppose you brought any extra parchment with you? Of course. What else? Slowly, Aimuro. Can't expect them to know if you don't tell them. I'm writing it all down. My research, my work. Something to survive before the next walk-in Colossus, the next Naga warband. Do you need something? If not, I should focus. So much to do. What didn't? A colossus made of Adra marched through the fort, grew bright like luminous, and scores of soldiers fell dead. Incredible.
If Aethys got to them first, then you can fit their remains in a pouch of white leaf.
Then the Naga killed everyone else. Except Latharn, I suppose. Yes, he must have left. Dawnstar fellow. Arrived yesterday, last week, complained of strange dreams. Smart of him to leave so soon.
He's gotta be acting on his dreams, trying to help our god.
Dawnstar fellow. Arrived. Do you need something? If not, I should focus. So much to do. How indeed. Naga everywhere. Suppose your best chance will be up along the walls, west and south. But how to get there? Better perhaps to keep going south, around the edge of the fort, through Fleet Master Ko's office. More cover from the Naga.
Captain? Just say the word.
The sea-striped fiends send you to uproot the tree of the gods, yes? Their blasphemy knows no bounds.
Give the order, Captain. Or just nod. I'm not picky.
So, the fiends corrupt even the sand-striped ones. Now I taste their stench on her. If you join them in befouling the Adra, then you will join them in death, too. The tree of the gods, yes, which these fiends plunder and profane. Go! Carry a warning of what you have seen to the other shufflers. Fool! See what the impiety of the sea-striped fiends has wrought? The sand-striped shufflers know better. But you others come, smooth-toned or furred or sea-striped, with blasphemous hunger. Now, foreign ones dig at these roots, and the deep hunter is with us no more. Now, the gods return to rain their punishment on these islands. Again. The defender of the isles, the guardian of tides. Once, it lived among us. In all bright, quiet places, where shufflers did not go. But then, more came from distant lands. First few, then many. Now, our deep hunter is gone. Do your stories say nothing of the many disasters? Of the shuffler nests washed away like foam?
Wherever we sail, the beaches and spires of Lost Ukaizo travel with us.
Many generations ago, the sand-striped ones built great hives across the islands, and bastions around the Adra roots. They did not build alone. The sand-striped ones helped, as they help other fiends now. Their meddling displeased the gods. So the gods smashed their works with heaving volcanoes and crashing waves. You shufflers are beasts of habit. You do not learn. You do not change. You cast off your sheddings by night, only to put them back on at daybreak. You wrap yourself in filthy, worn-out things. Our ancestors hid deep where the waters quenched the fires and muffled the storms. They remembered while shufflers scattered. Now, the shufflers build again. The gods see. They will tear them all down. The shuffler's tongue is thick with blasphemy. Kill her now, Sukan. If your fat tongue speaks true, then give us proof. If this is not some fat-tongued lie, then show us. Approach. Restore the blessing of the gods to the Adra.
As your hand touches the dim Adra, you feel the same cool, pricking sensation that you did when you touched the pillar near Port Mage. You concentrate on the pillar. The world around you swiftly falls away, leaving only the vast emptiness of the in-between. The Adra, and a multitude of golden threads undulating off into the distance. For a second time, you gather the threads in your mind and bind them together, forming a solid tether that ripples out toward its distant anchor. Again, a crack sounds from the terminus. Your consciousness is violently pulled along the cord. You are prepared for the sensation this time, but are still disoriented when you come to a sudden stop. You find yourself standing behind a familiar Titanic statue as it trudges through invisible waters. Standing at Aethys's shoulder, your soul is dwarfed by the massive god's form. Energy pulses along the tether, each wave feeding the Adra's movements. He stops. His head cranes behind him, again accompanied by the sound of stone shearing and buckling. His eyes rest upon you. He does not reach for the cord, but considers you for a long span of silence before speaking.
Your first attempt to contact me was brave. This second attempt, is it born out of desperation or something else? Why do you continue to follow me, Watcher of Cad Nua? Many Kith would like to know the gods' designs. Why is it so important to you?
At first, he does not respond. But there is a wavering from the light within him. A momentary dimming that allows you to see the souls within the Adra clearly.
I never sought violence or death, but Margren and the Hand Occult have ensured that the world believes the madman Widewin tried to destroy the Deerwood and everyone in it. In truth, a war was what I desired, but not one of violence. I sought a war of conscience. If people saw that the ruins so faithfully guarded by the Glanfathans were nothing more than machines, machines the Angwithans had used to turn themselves into gods, what could that mean?
Aethys becomes silent. You can sense his presence advancing back along the cord between you. His energy flows over your hand, tendrils of light probing into the air around you. They poke and prod at the silent lost souls hovering in your vicinity.
You are in a unique position. In spite of the work of the Leaden Key and Hand Occult, you have seen through our facade. You know the god's true nature. Without the benefit of your knowledge, few mortals would be willing to accept the true history of their gods. After all, we weren't. The last time I walked Aora, I made a mistake in not revealing my true purpose. I believe you would understand it better than most. Yes, I will tell you, but this is not the time. As I take this body farther from the lighthouse, the tether grows weaker, and I have already tarried too long. Soon this link will unravel completely. If I have not reached my destination when that happens, I will need to pull more souls from your world. It is. When you contacted me from Port Mage, I had to sever my tether to the luminous Adra. Without it, I lacked the strength to reach Hasongo. I pulled souls from the creatures of the ocean and from the people at Hasongo until I could reach the lighthouse. The soldiers and Naga there were no threat to me. I did not kill them out of malice, but simply to keep this body moving. That question, Watcher, requires a more philosophical examination than we have time for.
The edges of Aethys's massive form blur and dissolve. The huge figure retreats from you. As it moves, the tether begins to rapidly unravel. As Aethys speaks, his voice sounds garbled, fragmented, and distant.
If you would know more, find me at the Ashen Maw in Margren's Teeth. I must rest there before I begin my final work. When I leave that place, You will not be able to follow. Before I go, I should return some of this to you. I still have need of the great power of your soul, but I can spare you this portion.
A pulse of energy moves back along the golden cord toward you. It feels familiar, comforting, even before it contacts you. The energy washes over you, flooding you with feelings and memories you had thought long forgotten until they settle back into the cracks of your soul. And then the tether and cord snap, Aethys's figure evaporating into dust that mingles with the endless gray expanse. Heat rushes over you, and the uncomfortable sensation of the Audra Pillar's presence cuts off. The gloom of the in-between is pierced by the light of the living world. You are back in the lighthouse, no longer dim. The luminous Audra beside you is filled with warmth and light.
Long have we kept peace with the sand-striped people.
Good neighbors, I say, as long as we do not cross paths in mating season.
But then, the foreign ones came and spread, killed our people, built their hives everywhere.
Your type weren't exactly accommodating.
We were sure the Godwalker came to cast them out, that driving them away was a holy mission. But on whose terms? We must go. I know not what this means, but our brethren should hear of it.
Not an option, Snake. Bet you were keeping count of how many good soldiers you fanged. Captain? Aye, aye, ma'am.
You show us something new today, Shuffler. Thank you for this, and for your mercy.
This luminous Audra ought to be able to take my soul's watcher. What do you say? Get ready to witness the feat of a lifetime, Watcher. I'm about to do God's good work, to single-handedly shepherd a multitude of souls straight into the depths of hell. Long as you're watching my back, I'll be fine. Son of a gods-darn motherless cur! That hurt worse than a back-to-back whooping from Uncle Angbert's quarterstaff. Hell! And I only gotta do it again and again on cycle until the day I die? Ugh, but the guild says I do. I can't turn my back on my purpose any more than I could Aora in need. I never did want to take the easy route. I'll keep reaping more souls then. Do my duty till I fall to dirt and bones. Never you worry, though. I'll see to dumping my lantern in the future on my own. Thank you for finding me a way to handle my burden, even if it does involve the occasional jolt of pain. Darn if I don't feel so light I could float away. My bones are still a little jangly, but yeah, I think I am. I don't know if this is what God planned for me, but I'd like to think we did right by these souls. We're bringing light to the darkness, ensuring spring follows the coming fall. Don't let the door hit your scaly behinds on the way out. You were gabbing with my god again, weren't you?
When the captain goes all starry-eyed like that, the crew starts to ask questions.
I have known priests to go mad from too much incense, but speaking with a god has not left such a deep scar in you.
If you got something to tell us...
The jawline of the Northeastern Sea. Treacherous waters.
I'm ready to chase Gone if you are. All right then, let's do this.
Scale-bellied cowards! I knew they'd run!
Light of Aethys be upon you, neighbor. Are you looking for survivors?
Short lady, about my age, came from Deerwood with her son. Let's see. Freckles, braids, usually. Punches you in the arm if she likes you, face if not. Oh, and that's if you're lucky.
No, that doesn't sound like anyone.
You gotta be her son. Got her nose and her freckles. You don't have to lie to me, kid. I'm a friend of your mother's. She hiding from someone? Maybe an ex-lover who gave her the best night of her life?
No, I misspoke.
Forget it. Just tell me something. Your father, you know him?
I'm sorry, who are you? Right, friends of Alava's. Yes, I knew my father when I was very young. He was a man of strong faith.
Have to be. You get Alava mad, you need a god on your side for protection.
He was lost to us during the purges, which was how we came to flee here.
So you met him? Well, that's great. You had a dad. Where's your mother now? Got a lot of catching up to do.
My mother is with Aethys.
Yes, he walks among us once again, enlisting faithful soldiers. I do believe she is with him. She passed the veil a few years ago. A flu. It's possible her soul has taken a new body by now, but if she was truly blessed, she marches instead beside the Shining God.
You lied to us. Said you didn't know her. Expect me to believe this now? Well, he hides his grief pretty well, doesn't he?
I'm not lying. She's buried on the other side of that hill.
How could she be gone?
Don't be troubled by her passing. All souls that march with Aethys receive his warmth and light. Aethys has come to us twice now. Even Oblivion couldn't slow his march. We shouldn't have opposed his first coming. He meant to rally us under his banner.
Oh, I know a lot of Dead Deer Woodens who will be relieved to hear that. And seeing what we've seen, it's hard to believe they got our best interests at heart.
Aethys forced everyone to declare themselves as ally or enemy, nothing more. Now he marches again, and we have a chance to correct our mistake.
Well, that's charitable.
I would like to have joined him when he passed this way, but I was weak. It won't happen again. You can't build on broken foundations. Real change needs destruction. I trust my God knows better than I do. He knows truths I'll never learn.
You got that right.
I was once lost. I struggled as you do now. But the partisans of the lighted path have restored my faith in Aethys. What greater honor than to march in his vanguard? We began as children of the Dawnstars, separated from each other as we questioned our purpose. But then Aethys granted a vision to Gadarian Bosch. Bosch saw an illuminated path lighten the way through a black abyss. And he saw Aethys marching on the path, and Aethys bade him to march alongside.
Not quite how I've been seeing it, but everyone's open to their own interpretations.
And the Shining God told Gadarian Bosch to gather an army of the God's truest followers, and to prepare to lead it into battle.
You'd think after getting blown up, he'd slow down on the battling.
We don't know. The end of the path hasn't been revealed to Gadarian Bosch yet. But to the faithful, it shouldn't matter. Gadarian Bosch warned us. Those outside the partisans may ridicule us and test our faith, especially our old families and others close to them. We've learned it's best to keep to ourselves and those with open minds, which relations and friends mostly aren't. Aethys himself has appeared in Deadfire in the form Gadarian Bosch foretold. That's more proof than any of his faithful could ever ask. What fortune to be given this opportunity, to know our God in the living world. There'll be a great journey, but we're prepared. Gadarian Bosch knows the way.
We can go. Hey, kid. What was your name again?
Bairn.
Right. This lighted path fellow. There's some way I...
He's usually on the move, rallying followers. But the partisans of the lighted path often gather in the Temple of Aethys in Neketaka. I am soon to go there myself, in fact. There's an adherent there, Ogna, who initiates new partisans. No doubt she'd be pleased to help you. Aethys needs able soldiers, even in their elder years. You should consider what Ogna has to say. It might speak to you. Farewell.
You were saying? You were saying?
You blink and find yourself standing in the knee-high grass of an endless field, with the day just falling into dusk. The grass still holds the warmth of late afternoon sunlight, but a chill breeze blows at your back, raising goose flesh down your arms. The chirr and trill of nightjars rises with the wind. In the inky bruise of the sky, stars ignite by the ones and twos. The tolling of a single bell joins the chorus of birdsong. Then another. The sound surrounds you. Every stalk of grass bears a delicate silver bell on its end, bobbing in the wind. The chill breeze becomes a howling gale, and the tide of ringing bells sweeps you off your feet. It carries you like flotsam through the sea of grass. Then, the earth falls away. The wind ceases, and you are sent tumbling up into the dark of the sky.
Watcher.
The voice of the pallid night shakes the earth at your feet. You have returned to Bareth's realm, your soul once more called to attend the wishes of the god of death.
Once again, you have spoken with the Child of Light. Tell me what you have learned. Intriguing.
The pallid knight stares past you, pensive.
While attend, tell me what your many eyes perceive.
Her words ring out, and a heavy silence descends. In the silence breaks the murmur of countless voices. They speak all at once in languages both known and unknown to you. In the space beside Berith, an eye blinks open, followed fast by several more. They are round, keen eyes of Kith, the slit eyes of snakes, the small, dark marbles of birds, the bulbous lanterns of deep-sea fish.
Here we are.
A figure walks through the cloud of eyes as one might step through a door. It is an Orlan, then a pale elf, an ocean human, a Naga, each of them eyeless. They are Well.
This is the first interesting thing to happen in ages. And we do so love a riddle.
The figure wears an Amawa's grin, and the many voices beneath its own titter.
Some things must be lost to be found again. You knew that once, when you buried my scroll beneath the earth in Black Meadow. But it seems you have forgotten. We have read the book of your life, Watcher. It is heavy with the weight of your choices, and its pages are not unmarred by the blood of others. You reap, but on a smaller scale. We see between the strings of the world, and Eothas is there, strumming them like a lute. His tongue is still, yet he sings of a coming joy. What tune he plays, we do not know. It is complex, ever-shifting. One moment vibrating in harmony, the next in discord.
A man strides through the door to Berith's realm. Behind him lope wolves with lolling tongues, and jungle cats whose long tails twitch with every step. Galawain, the changeling, arrives, and he brings with him the wild heart of Aora's untamed places. Fast on Galawain's heels, a small wave of seawater washes across the tiles. It pours off the edge of the platform and cascades down into the beyond. From out of the water rears a glowing lure, then the head of a gigantic fish. The round black eyes of Andra roll to meet yours.
Eothas is nothing if not resourceful. I admire his nerve.
In the changeling's voice, you hear the soft patter of rain on leaves and the rush of wind through treetops.
No, he is a creature of the pack left long alone. Without our strength behind him, he is weak. If his journey leads him back to us, he has proved himself worthy of return to the fold.
Eothas does not return to us. He returns to execute some grand plan. We must stop him.
Andra's voice rises like a tide, panic riding its crest. The doors lining the walls of Berith's realm slam open in unison. Warped pieces of ancient armor and the remnants of discarded weapons roar through the doorways. They meet in the center of the room, in a shower of sparks, and form the vague figure of a man. Finally, a blacksmith's sledge hurtles past your shoulder, and the figure snatches it from the air. A man made half of metal and half of ruined skin stands before you. The rounded metal of a well-worn shield makes up most of his skull, his right eye socket, and jaw. His mouth is pulled forever into a half-grimace.
If Eothas has something foolish planned, perhaps we can turn him from that path and set him down a more productive one.
Abaddon's words crash and screech together, like long still gears forced to movement for the first time in centuries.
He violates not their realms, but mine. I feel his urgency in every stamp of his feet along my spine. I will send tsunamis to slow him, if Mogren would stir the earth beneath Mogren's teeth.
The water at your feet recedes. Lava oozes up through the shallow water, and a woman made from the guts of the earth emerges. She settles her characteristic broadsword on her shoulder and sighs a cloud of smoke and ash. Mogren returns.
In the age when our steps carved valleys across the face of Aora, our bodies were impervious to all but the strongest attacks. I doubt fire and water will be enough to stop him. But I will bear down upon Aethys with all the heat and fury of the earth. If I must.
The death of thousands now could prevent the death of millions later.
Dark, inky tears fall from Andra's eyes.
Sacrifices of the few protect the futures of the many. You cannot let your petty, mortal feelings blind you to the urgency of the dilemma Aethys has thrust upon us.
The deep, bellowing cry of an aurochs shakes the ground beneath your feet. The cry drones on and on, a moan without end. Wal's many eyes squeeze shut. Andra slips back beneath her waves. Mogren dissipates in a swirling cloud of steam. Galawain's beasts cower and whine. Only the pallid night stands impassive.
My end comes to all things in time. Should Aethys care to hasten the inevitable, I welcome his efforts. Aethys seeks a slate wiped clean. Freedom from the endless revolutions of Barath's wheel. The final emancipation of the countless stolen mortal lives the gods hoard within themselves.
The Child of Light will not choose the hour of my death.
Mogren tests the edge of her broadsword with a smoldering finger.
He sows chaos in his longing for a radiant dawn. So much will be lost in the cacophony of fear his actions inspire.
The crack of thunder rends the air. The gods fall silent.
We can wait no longer to act. Speak with him, Watcher. Discover what it is he plans.
Water begins to creep across the floor. It swells, runs swiftly, and catches at your ankles. You scrabble at the tiles, but it's no use. The current's pull drags you off the edge of Bareth's realm, and into the fathomless beyond. You splash down in water so dark you can't see the bottom. Then, the water recedes, gone like a dream upon waking. The hard wood of your cabin's floor presses against your spine. The gods are gone, but you remain.